Welcome to Northern Missouri. Here it comes, down. Come here, you idiot. Today we're gonna be going through and building something. My dog's running around, he's a monster. We're gonna be shooting, come here Bones, all the way, sit down, stay. We're gonna be shooting and showing you guys how we turn old musical instruments into something that is useful and something that you can play with every day through a couple of, they're not hard, but they're not easy processes that we put together to turn trumpets, trombones, that kind of stuff into something that is beautiful, working piece of art. We're up here at my buddy's shop, and we're gonna use his shop, or he's nice enough to let us use his shop, and he's gonna show you, he's gonna be doing the woodworking. I'm a poor woodworker, he's a great one. So we're gonna do that, we're gonna go inside. I'm gonna leave the dog out here just because he's a big monster, but come on in. All right, welcome in. So, we're inside the shop here, and we're gonna go through, and what we're gonna do today is we're gonna use this guy, which is an older trumpet. He's been around for, I don't know, 50 years, but he hasn't been played in a while. But with trumpets, with old instruments, it's really hard for me to look at these things that have brought so much joy and so much sound to people's lives and then say, all right, I'm not gonna use it anymore, I'm just gonna put it in the closet. Let's find a new purpose for him. So what we're doing is we're taking this guy, and just to kind of show you, we're gonna brush off a little bit of this dirt. And then we're gonna pop this guy open. He's been around a bit. We're gonna pop him open and grab this trumpet out of here. Now the trumpet, the bell is still in pretty good shape, right? Now the bell's the important part because it delivers all of the compression. It starts at the smaller point and it comes out. And it delivers that compression that you need to make the amplification possible, right? This is the same technology, if you guys have seen an old record player, like the old Victrolas, it's the same technology that they used. It's called solid state amplification, right? So we're gonna take that, we're gonna utilize these components that are still in pretty good shape and give this thing new life into something beautiful that your wife will be happy you brought home, you put inside the house, and you're gonna be able to enjoy music at a louder volume and then also have a little bit of nostalgia from Grandpa's trumpet. So hope that makes sense. We're gonna sketch out a little bit of the designs and yeah, let's get started. So if we keep this bark on here, we got a pretty big block. Now we've got this trumpet that we're gonna use. So we'll have this guy coming out 15 inches from the block. He's pretty big at that point.
Yeah.
But we're gonna need to set him in a couple inches, so we'll end up right there.
Roughly 10, 11 inches.
So we'll have him out about 11 inches. Okay, yeah. So let's start sketching here. And what we're gonna do is we've got our block, this big oak block. We're gonna take this guy, bring him across, and we're gonna take a bell and we're gonna angle him just a little bit. So he pops out, so he resonates a little bit more of, and I am not a sketcher, you see my point, right? It's gonna resonate out, and that's gonna be our bell. Now that's the first step that we're gonna do. We've got some really cool components on these trumpets. We've got some valves, we've got some slides, and we're gonna try to utilize those inside of it to make sure that we keep that nostalgia. So your phone is gonna drop in right about here, right? Let's put, Sam, what do you think about putting a little pocket behind so that we can...
I would do that. Yeah, put them in the back.
Yeah. So if we drop this in behind, we'll have the valves that pop up, that have the little press buttons there, that'll feature or sit in front of the phone, keep that trumpet vibe. And that'll allow us to keep these two parts of the slide too.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the other side of it, we've got these other parts. Now, what do you think we can do with those?
We could maybe put them in the end.
Going up and down or outside?
On the end of the block, or even on the end.
To frame it in?
Yeah, like on either side of the slot where the phone goes in.
So if we're looking top down here, we're looking at something like this. And that's the bell coming out. This is not to scale, right? So that's that, and so you're thinking we can either put it here and run these tubes,
Yeah.
or we can put them on the outside,
Yeah.
which almost makes them feel like handles, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep that one. We'll play that one by ear. But that is the initial plan we're going to rock with. What do we end up with?
About 12 and a half inches.
So let's run this pipe. So if we're doing this design here, so we want to do the.
I think we're gonna do like 2 inches to the slot, and then we'll go a 3/4 inch. That fits most of the bigger phones. We'll do about 4 inches long.
And then on the, this may be a problem. Do you want to make? Now let's keep this as the front. So this would be the back here.
Yes.
We've got. We're gonna drop those in like that, right?
Yeah. Get a few clamps and clamp this on. Yeah, you want a sharp chisel to chisel this.
Is this Missouri red oak?
It probably is.
Pretty local.
Missouri or Iowa.
So Sam, what are you doing here?
I am chiseling a slot for the phone to go in after we get the horn and everything in. It'll connect to the hole for the horn.
With a hand chisel and a hammer. So we go through to make those all sharp. Now we get the bulk of it pretty well taken out. what we're doing here is chiseling out the remnants that were left over from the forcer bit, because it's a circle, right? So we're trying to square the circle, so to speak, keep all the lines sharp, but so that the phone will fit. The big trade-off here is the bigger you make that hole, the less sound compression you're going to get out of the box, and basically being able to force that down to amplify it down the brass pipes of the trumpet that we're playing around with. So we need to keep these square but tight, big enough to accommodate the phone, but small enough so that we still get the amplifications. Once we get this deep enough, we'll then marry this with the bit that comes in from the front for the neck of the bell from the trumpet. So this is going to be met with another hole that's going to allow that compression of sound, so it'll amplify out the bell. So right now we've kind of cheated as much as we can with the forcer bit, and now since we don't have a plunge router in the shop, we've got to go ahead and take this and trim it out by hand, which makes you feel like an old school guy, but it gets the job done. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
So we were thinking 11 inches.
I think we were thinking a little longer than that.
12 maybe, or you want to go to
14.
14.
And then we have this distance here, which should be what, 2.5, 2 inches?
Yes.
2 inches. So that'll take it down to 12. Cut it at 14.
We'll try a 3/4 on a test piece, and then we can
see how it does.
Yeah.
We're already getting there, man. We're already getting there. I can feel it. Yeah. We're testing out how that bell is going to fit, because that's just a slight taper on it. So we need to make sure that it's going to fit tight and snug so that we don't have as much sound loss. Remember how we were talking about how the more wider the holes on where the phone goes in, it's the exact same thing for where the bell goes in, but just to a greater extent. The last thing you want to do is get half the way there and then lose the sound that you just built out of the parts around it. But I think that's a pretty good fit. This down into the hole or into the bark, and because they have it at a slight angle, it's going to go ahead and allow the bell to come up just a tiny bit, allow it to really resonate more sound across the roof. And then here, we're going to make sure we go to the right depth so it matches that pocket that we just cut. So, as we were doing earlier when we were cutting everything with the chisel and the forcer bit, we're using another forcer bit, and we're going down here and trying to match the pocket, the hole we have, with the new hole we're cutting. And that'll allow us to transfer that sound out and then through the bell that we just manufactured. We just took the solder off by using that heat. This is where these two parts of work are going to come together and meet. Kind of see where we started, the work that Sam's done. We've cut our pocket here. We now have the bell that comes at a slight angle, right? So you can see it from the side. That's going to allow it to kind of carry the sound. And right now, we can drop our phones in here and already hear the difference between your phone and then now the amplified phone. But the big thing is, this one is a one-off. It's not like a regular Edison. We're not making a dozen of these at a time. We're making just one of these guys. So we've got this bit from Grandpa's trumpet that we can now utilize and do some really cool things with. Now, we tried to kind of plan ahead here, but as with everything custom, it kind of goes sideways, and we figure out, what we're doing a little bit differently. So what we're thinking about now is how do we keep this together as possible, or as much together as possible. So we're going to drop these guys here. We're probably going to have to chisel in some new holes, or maybe forcer a bit if we can get them shallow enough, and then cut off a couple of these pieces so that we keep this as the trumpet, right? As the pocket trumpet that this was, and then also allow it to show and resonate and pull out more and more sound. A fistful of mineral oil. We're gonna do this, and this is really gonna pop the grain. When we do this, we're gonna grab this guy, kind of paint it with the grain. See how that's popping out that purple? Right, really showing those different rift mill marks. You go to the end grain, just look at that right now, right? Now this is the hole for those pieces there. But when we go and do the end grain here, look how much that sucks it in. Look how much it pops the grain. And you can always, everybody knows, or a lot of people know about this, but when we look here, we're able to see these growth rings. So you can see how old this tree was and how every year it just continued to grow out a little bit more and a little bit more. Slow and steady growth. So we're gonna roll to the front. We'll probably end up putting more oil on this later. I want to really show you guys what's going on and what's popping out. There we go. Look how that pops. I like how that line continues. You can really see the old salt. Okay, we're making it pop. We're gonna go one more end grain here. And the great thing about this guy is we kept the bark on the back side. So everybody knows how kind of this was harvested. The tree itself, end grain really sucks down the oil. So keep that in mind. Don't be afraid of it. As we continue, here we go, look at that. Look at those rays that come out. This is the most fun part, in my opinion, of any woodworking project, is just seeing all the grain start to pop. Really let you know how pretty it really is inside. So, without further ado, we're gonna do two more things. We're gonna assemble this guy with the oil, with the deep red color that just popped out, and then we're gonna test it. So, what we're gonna do that right now. This guy is gonna go here. That one goes right over the edge. The old mouthpiece Sam's putting in right now. This is gonna kick over. This guy's on the bottom. This. These are tight joints. Okay. Goes there. This guy
Just like, yeah.
slides in like so. There we go, just clicked in. Now we got the bell, piece de resistance, the part that's going to continue to do work. All right, slide this guy in here. You get that slightly upward angle. If you remember back to a little bit ago, we're going to rotate this so you can see the old etching that was done half a century ago. Now here's the big part, all right? Now I'm a big fan of jazz. We're going to jump on to music, and we're gonna show you guys how well these amplify, what it does, and kind of what it brings to life. Have any other questions, let us know. But piece de resistance. One other thing I always forget, like and subscribe, thank you. Last piece, we're gonna test the sound, okay? So this is my phone, I'm gonna push play, and this is just how it sounds organically, right? And when you take this guy and you put it into an Edison, it changes it. It's a little warmer, it's a little brighter. It's a little bit of nostalgia that's now coming out of something that you can have in your house, where your wife is gonna be happy to have a little piece of art, and you can talk about your memories from back in the day with your own classic converted Edison amp. So please like, subscribe, let us know how we're doing, let us know what you'd like to see next, and yeah, have fun out there. We'll talk to you.